you all doing today? I hope you're good. Another beautiful day, and we thank God. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Ify, and the channel is Ifechi Family. Here we talk about marriage, family, relationship, lifestyle, health, and faith. From the title, you know what we're going to discuss today. There's actually an issue that came up and that I want to share with us. But before then, let us look at what the Bible says about adultery or infidelity in marriage. Proverbs 6:32 says, "But the man who commits adultery is an utter fool, for he destroys himself." That's the Bible. Hebrews 13 verse 4 says, "Give honor to marriage and remain faithful to one another in marriage. God will surely judge people who are immoral and those who commit adultery." That's the Bible. You can go back and check Hebrews 13 verse 4. And then the popular one in Exodus 20 verse 14 simply says, "You must not commit adultery." So this is the word of God, and we cannot just be making excuses. Oh, these things can be done. Oh, we can't help ourselves. Oh, we can't help it. And stop making all these excuses, because we are human beings and not animals. So we can use our common sense. We can all do better in marriage to preserve what we have, to cherish what we have. I've been married for so many years, as those of you, some of you who are very familiar to this channel will know. So I think I'm qualified to talk about this. Adultery and infidelity are no in marriage. No. Infidelity actually undermines the very foundation of marriage in many ways. So let us call it what it is. Infidelity, adultery. Let us just stop using these fancy words like cheating, having an affair. Those are too cheap, just very simple words to use. But let's call it what it is: adultery, and the Bible condemns it. This idea of men cannot, they can't help themselves, they are just like that. We should not be doing that, because men are human beings. We are all human beings, and we can instruct ourselves. We can do better. So a lot of families, a lot of homes, a lot of marriages are broken down because of this issue of adultery in marriage. Before you actually say "I do" the homework very well. Understand what you are going into. You take that vow in front of a lot of people, for better, for worse, and that you're going to live with this person and all the rest of it. And then very soon, before long, you decide that you don't love the person anymore. That's why I kept saying that love is not the foundation of marriage. Because this case I'm going to share with you now, that will show you what I meant. So let me go straight into that. I'm going to cut it very, very short. I'm not going to go into details at all, because I don't want this video to be too long. This video will be in two parts. I'll do this one today, and tomorrow I'll finish it up by saying the effects and what we can actually do. Some of the things we can do. We can only do our best to prevent or to avoid adultery and infidelity in marriage. So this case of a house girl and house help who was caught with the lady's husband. The lady came back and met the house help on their matrimonial bed, and this caused a lot of problem, to the extent that the man, when the wife confronted him, turned around and said to her, "I don't love you anymore. She's the one I love." So you see what I mean? So if love is the foundation of marriage, where has that love gone to? Why is it that is the house help or somebody else that the man loves, and have to say that to the woman in front of the their house help, that she's the one she loves? So there were children involved, but they were still very young. They could not obviously talk. I'm sure this has been going on for a while, because the wife regularly leaves help at home with the husband and the kids, because the husband works from home most of the time. So this must have been going on, and these poor kids must have been witnessing some of these things, but because they're too young to talk. But remember, children, they learn by what they see and hear. So they must have been watching and observing. And when they grow up, they start doing certain things. You wonder, why did they get them from? I know with the internet and social media now, children learn a lot. That's why it's important that we also watch what we allow our very young children to watch. Anyway, so what I'm talking about, this marriage now is broken, and remember those children involved, what is their fate? So we have to think twice before we do certain things. And now telling your wife that you don't love her anymore, that this is the other person that you love, and then that marriage actually destroyed. I don't want to go into the other details of it, but just to say that these things happen, and we must be very careful, and we must work on our marriages. And those of you who have house helps, especially older house helps, be very careful and set boundaries, the limit to what the house help can do for your husbands. I'll suggest that they don't even serve them food, that you serve, because when they come in to serve food and do all that, the man will be admiring and looking at them. And also, one of the things that came up was the man saying that, oh, the house help dresses better than his own wife, and neat, more more presentable than the wife. So it's, again, it's not an excuse for him. However, we can all do better. Women, let us do better. Let us not say, oh, because we have we've had our children, what is my husband looking for anymore? You know, men are so different. Not all men are not the same. You cannot judge by your own husband like what other husband or other men will do. So that's why it's important that we just have to work out things and do our own bit, do our best. Look after ourselves, look after our homes, look after our husband and our children, and be there for each other. You know the way the Bible said that we have to relate in marriage. Let's do that. Let's both parties do their own bit. And if the husband still goes out, I mean, some women do so as well. It's not just peculiar to the men. Some women also go out there and do these things, which I don't fully understand, but they always have a reason or an excuse why they do what they do. So let us, marriage is it's a school that you never graduate from. One stage to the other, you just have to keep learning. And communication, I cannot overemphasize on communication. If there's something that you see or that you've seen in your marriage that is not going right, or you think, I'm not quite happy with this, I don't like how my husband relates with this house help, or how they talk to each other, just address it. Tell your husband that you don't like it. There's no point in leaving it and thinking, no, it's okay, because we're too busy to even notice some of these things. Let us not be too busy for our marriages or our relationships, because if it fails or if there's an issue, it affects everyone. It affects the children. My main thing here are the children who are involved. You know, infidelity and adultery in marriage can cause heartbreak. It can cause so much devastation. It can cause a feeling of betrayal. It can cause there'll be confusion in marriage, especially with the children. You don't know what to do, because you're not saying, oh, I don't want to live with you anymore. I don't love you anymore. You can go. Go where? How about the kids? What are you actually thinking about them? Because I'm always particular about these innocent children who did not ask us to bring them to the world. Why are we messing up and then leaving them so confused? And then when they grow up and start behaving in a certain way, you wonder, where did they pick these things up from? I know with social media, they pick things up from social media, but when they are quite young, obviously you have control over what they want. But the first control we have to have is actually how we behave, what we do in front of the children, or even behind the children, how we say, what we say over the phone to people. When you lie over the phone, the children, they listen. Then tomorrow you tell them not to lie, and they're quick to tell you, but I heard you the other day telling somebody so and so, and that wasn't true. So they will tell you. It's not, so they learn by what they see and hear. So please, let us do better and work on our marriages. And this idea of infertility and adultery that is actually wrecking loads of marriages now will have to be minimized or stopped. We can all do better. Please, I have a very good I have a very good interest in marriage, in relationship and family, so we can all do better. I'm going to stop this video here and for today, so that it's not too long. It's now gone 10 minutes. I really don't want it to be beyond 10 minutes or 12 minutes maximum, so that tomorrow we can now look into other aspects of this, maybe the actual causes of this, what we can do as a couple, what husband and wife can do to help prevent or minimize or even prevent adultery and infidelity in marriages, and live happily ever after in our marriage and enjoy what God blessed us with and not looking elsewhere, because everything we need in our marriage is actually in both of you and your husband. Everything you need in marriage is there. All you need to do is to nurture it, work on things, affirm each other, tell each other, just remind each other how you met. Anyway, we're going to talk more about those ones tomorrow. Let me not prolong this video longer than it should. Thank you so much for listening. I'm sure you have picked one or two things from today. Looking forward to rounding up tomorrow. The part 2 will be tomorrow. Thank you and God bless. Please share me out, share this video out, so that others will see what we have discussed today. Goodbye and God bless.